Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
Teachers across Guyana begin strike action to press for salary increases. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Monday, August 27. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. Teachers in Guyana began industrial action on Monday ahead of next week's formal opening of the new school term. They stayed away from pre-commencement activities at the various schools across the country, and some later engaged in marches and picketing the office of President David Granger. The government is holding firm to its position to offer $700 million Guyana dollars to cover across-the-board increases, but the union is still pressing its demand for a 40% wage hike for teachers. Deputy Headmaster at North Rumeveld Secondary, Kerwin Mars, who was also on the picket line on Monday, told News Source Guyana that the government should offer more benefits if it can meet salary increase demands.
What we want the government to do is to come and tell us, well, look, we can't afford 40%. We can give you all this percentage, but we can give you all clothing allowance, we can give you all your duty free, we can give you all reduce your class size, we can give you all this, we can give you all that, and we can give you all the other benefits that we're asking for. So that's why we're out here, and we will continue to be out here if they don't continue to budge and negotiate reasonable with us.
Meantime, the union had indicated it may not participate in conciliatory talks with the Guyana government on Tuesday. President of the Guyana Teachers Union, Mark Light, says his union might not be able to meet with the Ministry of Education on the issue, as the union's general counsel is also scheduled to meet on that day. The meeting was first scheduled for last Friday, but the union failed to attend the talks aimed at preventing teachers from embarking upon industrial action at the start of the new school term in September. The union said it had not received information about the meeting in a timely manner.
At this stage,
General Council would meet once per term, every 3 months, so it's not something we can push back because we have had a lot of our General Council reps travel from the interior and so on to be here for tomorrow's meeting. And that meeting usually go late into the evening. I think GTU is making the kind of statement to say that our position is that we are given short notices for meetings and persons are not inquiring whether we have scheduled activities on those days.
Meantime, the union has been moving over now to the story from Trinidad and Tobago, where the government is warning that the state-owned oil company is in a deep financial hole and its current state of affairs has the ability to bankrupt the country. That grim message was delivered by Energy Minister Franklin Can on Sunday as he defended the decision to restructure the cash-strapped Petrotrin. This is even as the Oilfield Workers Trade Union, the OWTU, has vowed to prevent the sale of the refinery. OWTU President General Ansel Roger told a union-organized press session outside the official residence of Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley on Sunday that fighting the move is for the benefit of all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Roger claims there are those who want to get Petrotrin in certain hands, but he says the union will not tolerate it.
Petrotrin is no ward of the state, notwithstanding the attempt by some to downcry the company. just to be able to put it in the hands of their friends. For that reason and that reason alone, they would badmouth and bad talk Petrotrin.
But the energy minister told a news conference that the current state of affairs cannot be allowed to continue. We get more in this report from Karen Cozier, Philip of C News.
Said Petrotrin has serious systemic, structural and operational issues which have to be dealt with. These include a massive debt profile of some 13 billion TT dollars, the repayment of an $850 million US bond due in November 2019, salaries and wages in excess of 50% of its operating costs, and a debt of $3.5 billion to the government for taxes and royalties.
Petrotrin, as we speak, is coming to what you call in astrophysics a black hole. And a black hole means an area of such intense gravity that if it sucks you into it, you cannot come out.
Petrotrin's oil production has dropped significantly in the past few years. It now stands at some 65,000 barrels of oil per day. But the refinery can process 150,000 barrels per day, so Petrotrin is forced to import 110,000 barrels per day. This means Petrotrin, as the state energy company, has now become a net user of foreign exchange. Minister Khan said the restructuring of the state-owned oil company has now become the most fundamental task government faces in terms of this country's future economic fortunes or lack thereof.
If Petrotrin is not handled properly, it could bankrupt this country. Is it as serious as that?
The board of Petrotrin is scheduled to meet with the executive team of the Oilfield Workers Trade Union on Tuesday to share details of government's restructuring plan. Minister Khan is calling on the trade union to treat the discussions with maturity, pragmatism and patriotism.
It's not a fight between Rouget and Rowley. It's not a fight between Espinay and Rouget. I hear they call my name in the fight yet, but I guess they will do so shortly. It is far more consequential than that.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is expected to divulge the details of the restructuring of Petrotrin in an address to the nation next Sunday, September 2nd.
Meanwhile, the energy minister has dismissed criticisms about the new gas agreement signed with Venezuela over the weekend. He has denied that there was any secret gas deal, as some media reports had claimed. The Dragon gas deal was inked between TNT and Venezuela on Saturday, and the main opposition United National Congress, the UNC, has called for the terms regarding the price of gas under the accord to be made public. But Minister Khan said it is widely accepted within the energy sector that the commercial terms of gas sales agreement are subject to the strictest confidentiality clauses.
To telegraph to the people of Venezuela that the Venezuelan government is selling extremely cheap gas to Trinidad. That is not the case. The price we are paying is substantially more than the $1, but it is competitive. It is no cheap gas, it is competitively priced gas, and it's obviously no secret Dragon deal. So I hope I have debunked all this misinformation.
But the UNC is calling for more transparency on the gas deal. In an immediate response to Minister Khan's press conference, the opposition party issued a statement saying that despite the glitz and glamour surrounding the Prime Minister's trip to Venezuela, the government is keeping the people of Trinidad and Tobago in the dark. The statement says the deal has immense local and international ramifications, and as such, the government should be more forthcoming with information about it. The Dominica government says it's confident it will be able to attract investors to fill the void created by the departure of Ross University School of Medicine. Earlier this month, Ross announced that it is relocating to Barbados. It was located in Portsmouth and was a huge source of income for the Dominica's second town for the past 40 years. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt told radio listeners that the entire property of the university, comprising 27 acres of land, belongs to the state. And he says the government has written to Ross University to highlight that the land belongs to the people of Dominica. Skerritt says though it is early days, he he's very confident that an investor will express interest in the facilities.
From the government perspective, this is not going to be an eternal matter, because we are confident, and I am confident as Prime Minister, that we will have an investor that will be able to fill the void created by Ross University. I'm hoping that very soon we will be able to articulate that particular matter to the Dominican population. In every disappointment, it is said that there is a blessing in disguise. We have to work towards it and ensure that we can have a replacement. Because as you know, the entire campus, 27 acres of land that Ross sits on, belong to the state, belongs to the Council for Dominica. So we put in a mechanism in place to get the properties handed over to the state very soon from now. Ross is doing some repairs to some of the buildings. I'm hoping we can meet with them this week to finalize this. So this is one matter that has to be brought to the public's attention, that the entire campus, save and except some 8 acres which Ross bought from the Armors in the 2000s, legally belong to the people of Dominica.
Still to come in Caribbean Newsline, an IMF mission returning to Barbados to continue negotiations on a deal to help government fix the economy. Stay with us, there's more news after the break.
Her passion for what she believes is unmatched.
I wanted to get to the point where you can shake me off that perfect piece.
She's a book-off radio host, philanthropist, and motivational speaker.
And I said, I'm going to write you a check for $10,000, which I'm not.
Spirit, soul, and body.
To get them some help through the transition.
I'm Karita D, and you're listening to Girlfriend Get a Life.
Dominica's World Creole Music Festival in 2018, October 26, 27, 28 at the Windsor Park Stadium in the capital city, Roseau. 3 nights, over 8 genres, 40 years of independence, one location, Dominica, the 20th edition of Dominica's World Creole Music Festival. For more information, like our Facebook page, Dominica Festivals. Visit our website, www.dominicafestivals.com for all travel, accommodation, and ticketing details. My love, my home, my Dominica. Building a resilient nation. See you there! Proudly sponsored by the Government of Dominica and Discover Dominica Authority.
A mission from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, is scheduled to return to Barbados this week to continue negotiations on an agreement to provide assistance to help turn around the ailing economy. That was disclosed by Prime Minister Mia Mottley during an address over the weekend at the 77th Annual Delegation Conference of the Barbados Workers' Union. She told delegates that her administration is faced with a tall order as it tries to work out how it will transform the government and the nation. Mottley, who is also finance minister, said it would not be business as usual and the government has moved to get out of the $100 million Barbados dollars in contracts for the construction of new desalination plants that was signed by the former Democratic Labour Party government prior to the general election. The Prime Minister also said that the time has come for a retraining and retooling of Barbadians in order to rebuild the economy. She said this would require restructuring the country's institutions.
To put at least $30 million a year in training for the next 4 years to ensure that the entire Barbados, public sector and private sector, car washer to lawyer and accountant, regulator to taxi driver and tour operator, waiters and housekeepers to doctors and nurses. Every single job in this country has first to be identified. We need to settle on the rudiments of what defines excellence in the delivery of that job. Who will deliver the training? How much it will cost? When will it be delivered? And then most importantly of all, how we will monitor the habit of excellence.
Well, measles has resurfaced in Venezuela, and the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, wants to ensure the childhood infection doesn't spread further across the region. In this week's Newsline Health, we hear that Caribbean countries have been urged to rapidly increase vaccination coverage.
The Americas was declared measles-free. PAHO says 34 of its 35 member states still have that status today, but endemic transmission of the virus has now been re-established in Venezuela. Measles circulation in other regions of the world has always been an ongoing threat to the Americas, as imported cases can reintroduce the virus among unvaccinated individuals. While in the case of Venezuela, PAHO says that in July 2017, the Spanish-speaking Caribbean nation reported the first case of its current measles outbreak and confirmed that it was due to a virus strain that was originally reported in Asia and later in Europe. As of a week ago, Venezuela reported 3,545 confirmed cases of measles, including 62 deaths. PAHO says it has been working with Venezuela alongside its partner agencies to increase vaccination coverage, strengthen epidemiological surveillance, and interrupt transmission. It has also mobilized financial resources to support the purchase of vaccines, other supplies, and technical cooperation activities to help Venezuela halt the spread of measles. And to stop further spread throughout the region, PAHO Director Carissa Etienne wants all countries to rapidly increase vaccination coverage. The aim is to reach more than 95% of children. Etienne says national surveillance should be improved and rapid response teams established to expeditiously manage suspected cases, prevent new cases, and halt outbreaks. She reminded that those measures to sustain elimination were all agreed to by ministers of health in 2017, and these commitments must be renewed. Dawn Paris for Newsline Health.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, Trinbago Knight Riders jumped to the top of the CLP standings after beating Barbados Tridents in front a home crowd. Stay with us. Sport is next.
This hurricane tip comes to you compliments the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and the Caribbean Media Corporation. Be prepared. Make an emergency communications plan for your family. What to do, where to go, how to reconnect.
Dominica's World Creole Music Festival in 2018, October 26, 27, 28 at the Windsor Park Stadium in the capital city, Roseau. 3 nights, over 8 genres, 40 years of independence, one location, Dominica, the 20th edition of Dominica's World Creole Music Festival. For more information, like our Facebook page, Dominica Festivals. Visit our website, www.dominicafestivals.com for all travel, accommodation, and ticketing details. My love, my home, my Dominica. Building a resilient nation. See you there! Proudly sponsored by the Government of Dominica and Discover Dominica Authority.
This summer and fall, Brilliant Barbados is offering you hotel discounts of up to 40% off regular rates when you book through Expedia before October 31st, 2018. Discover our Dine Around program specials at participating restaurants across the island, starting from US $50 per person on 3-course meals. For further information and full details to book your Barbados holiday, visit brilliantbarbados.com.
Man of the match Brendan McCullum put Barbados Tridents to the sword with a ruthless half-century as Trinbago Knight Riders marched to the top of the Caribbean Premier League standings with an easy 4-wicket win in Barbados on Sunday night. Batting first at Kensington Oval, Tridents posted a meagre total of 128 for 8, with Shea Hope top scoring on 42 while Nicholas Pooran chipped in with 34. Captain Dwayne Bravo and Carrie Peer picked up 2 wickets each.
Oh, this is squeezed off the edge, and it's 4. Well, that's very wide, and it's a flash for 4. It's another one-handed shot. It might not be enough. Straight into the basket of Dwayne Bravo. That's a Republic Bank classic catch. In one-handed wasn't enough.
If it goes for 10. It's 114 for 7.
Dwayne Bravo full length, and it squeezes out past that man who's fine for 4. Miles wide, Dwayne Bravo. Oh, goodness me. What an athlete this fellow is. How many would have snaffled that? That was really top class.
His plan worked. Jason Holder tried. He tried very hard. He got to 30. It's 122 for 8.
Ashley Nurse is on strike. Wahab is at the non-strikers end. Swing and a miss, and that's a terrific last over. Just 6 from it. He finishes with 1 for 22 from his 4, Ali Khan.
Needing 129 for victory, Trinbago Knight Riders silenced the crowd in Bridgetown by reaching their target in the 17th over, with New Zealander McCullum top scoring with 66 or 42 deliveries to send the Tridents to their 2nd defeat in as many nights at the Kensington Oval.
Oh, this has been crunched. Oh dear. He's gone again. This is 4, and it's a half-century. His 6th in CPL cricket, and this is brilliant from McCullum. He's making the Tridents suffer.
Greeted with a hero maximum by Brendan McCullum. It's been an inauspicious night for Springer. Run himself out for North, misfielded a couple of times, and now smashed for 6.
Again, leg side.
They'll be out, should be out. The catch is taken by Wahab Riaz, the big side of the ground, into the wind, everything almost against that shot from Ramdin.
Ramdin falls so close to the wind. 20 to his name. It's 126 for 5.
Dwayne Bravo comes to the crease. A chance for Smith to get one. Puts it in his pocket. So 2 wickets now in quick succession. Ramdin and now McCullum.
Excellent innings from McCullum. He goes for 66. It's 126 for 6.
Lovely shot to end the contest from the TKR captain, who dances his way to victory here at Kensington Oval.
Meanwhile, Jamaica Tallawahs ended a 3-game losing slide when they disposed of St. Lucia Stars by 21 runs in Castries on Saturday night, pushing the embattled hosts further into strife and closer to elimination from the CPL. Man of the match Rovman Powell's 64 fired Tallawahs up to 204 for 5 off their 20 overs at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground, and the target proved beyond the Stars' capabilities despite 46 from captain Kieran Pollard and strong support knocks from Trinidadian Lyndall Simmons, who got 45, and Australian David Warner, who made 42. Reeling from 3 straight defeats in Fort Lauderdale last week, Tallawahs rebounded in style, with Powell spearheading the batting enterprise that saw Johnson Charles getting 34, Kennar Lewis 33, and David Miller an unbeaten 32. Meanwhile, Tallawahs leapt to the top of the standings on 8 points. Stars remained bottom on 4 points with just 2 matches remaining in what has been another wretched campaign comprising just 2 wins in 8 fixtures. Switching sport, Barbados soared to the top of the standings after winning all 3 matches in the qualifiers of the Netball World Cup. Barbados thrashed Antigua 105 goals to 10 on the opening day. That's Argentina. On the opening day on Friday, they then hammered Canada 70 goals to 28 before crushing St. Martin 110 goals to 12. After 3 matches, they are on 6 points with a goal difference of 235. Barbados is scheduled to clash with St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Tuesday. Sitting in the 2nd spot is Trinidad and Tobago, sharing 4 points with Grenada on the 3rd spot. TNT dismissed the United States on their opening game with a final score of 86-29 and then crushed Canada on Monday 23 goals to 6. Grenada beat St. Vincent 62-49 and then handed Argentina a humiliating 106-11 defeat over the weekend. The Spice Girls were scheduled to face the United States on Monday before taking on Caribbean neighbors Trinidad and Tobago on Tuesday. And finally, in horse racing, Barbadian jockey Rico Walcott secured his biggest win of the season when he partnered with hot favourite Sky Promise to win the $200,000 Canadian Derby at Northlands Park on Saturday. Going 1 mile and 3/8 for the 3-year-olds, the 7-time reigning champion sat the 3-year-old Bay Colt off the pace before bursting into contention coming off the final turn and then holding off a late bid from Day Raider to take the wire a length clear in a time of 2 minutes 20.11 seconds. Matt Jekish has the call.
118 years of history, and Sky Promise takes off. Shimshine back into 2nd, Day Raider 3rd, then it's back to Jamalta 4th, 1/8 of a mile from home, and it's Sky Promise drawing clear. Day Raider down the center of the track, 16th out, Sky Promise, Day Raider not going away. The first winner, Spangled Jimmy, the last, Sky Promise.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
So I have my tofu here that I already went ahead and cut up. I like to cut them in triangles. You can cut them in cubes as well. Big cubes, small cubes, however you want to cut it. So I'm going to give this a generous coating of this. So just once all the pieces are coated, that's good. And you want to make sure they fry evenly on both sides.
I was a PH driver for several years. I hustled my car for a living, and the way I dealt with my passengers, I was observed by these gentlemen, and they were quite pleased and satisfied the service I provided to the passengers. And they recommended that I get into the tourism industry. So I got my taxi badge, I got a taxi, I joined the Tobago Owners and Drivers Association, which I am now the vice president of.
Again, the major developments of this day: teachers across Guyana begin strike action to press for salary increases. And in sport, Trinbago Knight Riders beat Barbados Tridents by 4 wickets and jumped to the top of the standings in the Hero Caribbean Premier League. Now that's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, subscribe to CarnaNews.com. For more of our programming, log on to CaribVision.tv and subscribe to CaribVision's YouTube channel. We'll be back here tomorrow, but until then, do have yourselves a good night.